Hey guys, what up? Welcome to another episode of Fore Dads Podcast. We're pumping out content like crazy, just getting excited with all these new things coming up, and sports are moving fast. We got the Super Bowl this weekend. We got the Waste Management coming up as well, or actually it's here. And in real big news for all of us golfers who are just Tiger lovers, the man announces another course. I mean, John, Teeds, what do you think? Do you think this is his new thing? Do you think he's trying to become the next Jack Nicklaus of course designs?
I was just gonna say it's probably gonna be like the Jack Nicklaus. And I was watching Mood Swings Golf on YouTube, and one of the guys was like, "Oh my gosh, Jack, who's the what's his name? The Jack Nicholson, the actor." He goes, "Oh my gosh, Jack Nicholson, he makes golf courses too. What can't this guy do? Oh my gosh." Because the Jack Nicklaus design course. Yeah. But yeah, I was just thinking that. I mean, like, I guess so. I mean, he's not able to play at the level that he wants to anymore, or that he physically can. So, I mean, it's probably one of the next best things. And anything that Tiger touches is gold. He's got like the Midas touch, So
literally, the guy is the he's the Goldman Sachs of golf, just pouring in money. But literally, I think this is super exciting. I think, like you said, Tiger's not playing to the competitive level that people, our generation was raised on, but still for him to go and win, the Masters in 2020 and
that was nuts.
I mean, the guy still has it, but after this last car accident, you can tell he's struggling. And it's like he said, it's not that I don't have the game. It's, I can't walk. Yeah. So maybe we see him drive around on the senior tour like John Daly, and the guy wins a few more majors down there. But who knows? I think right now he's just having fun. I mean, he's made it very clear that he loves spending time with Charlie. He loves caddying for Charlie.
Loves being a dad.
He loves being a dad. And I think we both can agree, I have a daughter, you have a son, and after seeing you at the AT&T this last weekend with Carter, is like, it's your little boy. Like you can't help but not be excited for things that he's experiencing, and especially when it's passions that you have. Same with Adelina. It's like she's just a little goofball. She goes from like way up here to then all of a sudden she's just like down here, and then you do something, you spook her, and she's all laughs and giggles. But another course, and this is a behemoth of the course. It's going to be 8,064 yards. We
got to check the altitude of this course as well, because I mean, you can't just be playing like.
I'm curious about that too. I heard it's back out in Utah again too, and I mean, just the first hole alone is 660 yards. The only hole that I've ever played that long was at the Blue Monster over at Trump National Doral. The first hole is so let me go down the stats here. So 1 is a par 5, 664 yard par 5. 2, par 4, 494 yards. The number 3 is a par 3 at 150 yards. Then you go to another par 4 at 520 yards. Then the next, or number 6 or number 4 is now another par 4 at 474 yards. 6 is 480 yard par 4. 7 is a par 3 at 200. 8 is a par 5 at 630 yards. 9 is a par 4 at 505 yards. Just those par 4s for most munis, those are like that's a par 5, but that's insane. And then you go, and then dude, holy smokes. Then number 10 is a par 5, 702 yards. Number 11, par 3, 193 yards. 12, par 4, 381 yards. I assume that this is probably, I'm thinking already that this one is probably one that's like drivable. There's going to be like a spot where the ball just rolls down and you can get like an easy eagle or something on it. Yeah. Let's see here. So then 13 is a par 3, 275 yards. Then you go to a par 5 at 640. Then another par 3 at 292 yards. Then another par 5 at 607. And then you finish off with 2 par 4s at 394 yards and and 18 is a 463 yard par four, still at a score of 72.
All right, well, okay, Julio, let's break this down hole by hole. I'll take the odds. You take the, no, I'm sorry. I'll take the evens. You take the odds. 660 yard par five. Let's just say it's flat. Okay, obviously it's probably not. How would you approach this? Like, what would your game plan be if you could hit the shots that you were planning to based off of your distances?
I mean, obviously, I'm going pitching wedge off the first tee.
Okay, I was surprised you weren't going gap wedge. Bold move with the pitching wedge.
No, I would go driver. I would go driver off the first tee.
And let's just hold on. Hindsight. Let's say it's 90 degrees outside, so you're warm. It's not cold.
Okay.
So you're loose.
I'm still gonna go driver off. I was about to say driver off the deck. Driver off the first tee. I'll probably hit a 5-iron, honestly, to just lay up and give myself a good wedge shot in.
Okay.
That'd
be the plan. Okay.
Yeah, I'd plan for a birdie.
Okay.
I guess for 2, what would you do?
So for 2, obviously, I feel like 9, 10, 16 out of 18 holes you're going to use driver. I mean, I would say the average golfer, maybe not you, because you would hit over these par 3s. But for me, yeah, hole 2, first shot would be driver. My goal is to get it within 270 to 300. It might even be a little bit farther than that, especially in Utah. But especially when in the heat, I can get it around 300, a good drive, and all else goes well. That would put me at about 195. And so that would probably put me at a 6 or a 7-iron, depending on the elevation. And, fingers crossed I can get on.
It's a 9-iron all day, dude.
Must be nice. Must be nice. But yeah, par 3, you got the par 3. I got it up as well. I'll have it up on the screen for everyone to see right now. But, 150 for that par 3. That looks like a hole-in-one course, right? A hole-in-one opportunity.
I'm gonna take into account the elevation, being at where this course is.
Uh-huh.
I'm probably gonna go with like a 50 degree and just smack the shit out of it. And I know it's gonna. I feel like that's all you can do. If I don't have the touch with a pitching wedge to say, all right, I'm just gonna go shoulder to shoulder and just a little draw.
Right.
I'm just gonna smack a 50 degree, and if it gets close, great. If it's on the green, even better.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just being fully transparent. Like I wouldn't even know what to do. I feel like the elevation is such a huge key out there.
It's got to be, man. It's got to be. So I mean, yeah, you got the fourth hole, which is a par 4, 520 yards, behemoth. I definitely would go driver, and again, if I put myself in that 270, 300 range, right, it'd probably be closer to 280 to 300. That would put me at about 220, 230 out on a solid drive. That would potentially put me at my 4-iron to 3-iron utility. Again, elevation probably closer to 4.
Yeah.
And I would hope, because I can't hit my 4-iron for crap, and it's so inconsistent. But if I shank it, then I give myself a layup to hopefully par the hole with a nice little 58 wedge in. And then you got the hole 5, par 4, 474. How would you play this one?
I'd go 2-iron. 2-iron for me is about 275.
Then you'd be 200 yards out.
Yeah, and just give myself like a smooth 7.
So you're telling me you wouldn't go driver to give you like a wedge in? You would rather go a 2-iron?
I'd rather have a full shot. I mean, I'm not bad with my wedges, but I'm assuming since this is one of the more realistic par 4s, there's got to be something where it's either going to. I mean, you got to think, how does Tiger play, right? It's got to be a cut, right? So.
Oh, you mean they're doing more cuts instead of like a draw bias?
Yeah, okay. I feel like it'd be. I mean, and even just looking at like the map of the course, everything is kind of like a cut design for the most part. Yeah, everything looks like it plays to a cut. So I'm assuming he built in a spot where there's like some kind of a side wind that's maybe coming the other way to kind of hold your shot. I mean, I'm trying to put my mind in what Tiger's thinking, because, dude, this is a behemoth of a course. Like this is a long course. So, and for it to be where it's located, and I can only imagine what the elements are like playing up there.
Oh, I know, right? right? And then what do we got? Hole 6, we got a 480. I'll go driver all day pretty much on all these. Driver put me in hopefully about 180, 190 in, and that would probably be a 6 or a 7, depending on elevation and things like that. Hole 7, Julio, par 3. That's 200 yards, probably a soft gap wedge for you.
Full 7 all the way.
Full 7. Okay.
Full 7.
Full 7, solid. And then I got the par 5, 630, a short 630 compared to the hole 10. Again, if I can get 290, 300, that would put me. I'd probably go 3-iron utility out because that would put me at, well, we had 3, let's say 290 plus another 230, 240. Yeah. That would put me at, if my math is correct, 4, 5 something. So it put me inside 100 yards for a little 58-degree wedge in, hoping for a birdie opportunity. I mean, I couldn't even. There's no way I can get on into anything over 500 yards. No, I mean, I guess there is a chance. If you have a crazy downwind and it's downhill, but besides that, there's just no chance for me getting on in 2 in that one.
Yeah.
Hole 9, 505. We still going 2-iron?
Is that one a par 4, par 5?
Par 4.
Par 4. Yeah. So, I'd probably go 3-wood. I'd probably go 3-wood on that one.
Okay.
I don't know. Just go 3-wood. So about what? My 3-wood's anywhere from, I'm just gonna say 295. So, how long did you say the hole was again?
The hole is 505 yards.
Yeah, so 295. I mean, probably 6-iron in, give or take.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then that would put me at hole 10, par 5, 702 yards. So for this one, I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to tee it up for the driver, try and get about 300 yards. And then when I'm in the fairway, I'm going to tee it up again to hopefully give myself another 300 yards because there's no. Yeah. But the funny thing is, back-to-back 300-yard drive still puts me 100 yards short. So that wouldn't help me at all. But okay, yeah, but obviously I try to go driver, probably 3-iron utility or 3-wood, and then probably 3-iron utility, 3-wood again, and then probably 3-iron, 3 utility again, and then like there's just no chance on this one, man. There's no chance.
Well, this is by far like his longest designed course. I mean, even Paynes Valley, Big Cedar Lodge, that one is at 75-70, and
jeez.
I've heard that the design on that one, they only had they had certain limitations that they could go.
Gotcha.
But I think that's pretty crazy though. Is like that is a very, very large course. And I do wonder what the cost would be to go play it. I mean, Paynes Valley, I think right now is, let's see. If you were to go up, probably not right now. It's probably covered in snow still, but Paynes, if you were to go January, it's the resort rate is 150.
Oh wow.
Public rate is 165.
What?
If you go during the times of April through October 29th when the weather is perfect,
better, right?
It's not as cold. They jack it up. Resort price is $325.
That's still not bad.
Public rate is $350.
That's still not as bad as I expected. Still a lot. Don't get me wrong. It's a pretty penny, but I expected like $500-600. But I mean, with this, that's a lot of grass to be constantly watering, constantly mowing. Imagine that 700 yards. They're gonna have like 4 guys on there a day, just like mowing that down. But anyway, let's bust this out. Hole 11, par 3, 193. What's that for you? I'm gonna take a gander. It's probably gonna be like an 8. This is Bryson DeChambeau over here.
I'm still going with a 7.
Still going with your 7? You're lucky number 7. Okay.
7. Yeah.
All right. Hole 12 for me, par 4, 381. It's a drivable green. Just kidding. Yeah, no, that would definitely be driver and probably going to put me about 80 to 90 yards.
It's like a 54 degree for you.
Yes, I'm definitely more comfortable. I'm trying to think here. Yeah, I probably would go 54, a half 54. I'm trying to get some spin on that. let's see here. Then we're on 13, another par 3, Julio 275. That sounded like if you wanted to go for it and one on a par 3, that's got to be your 3-wood, right?
Yeah, I'd go 3-wood for sure. I mean, obviously, depending on the wind, probably a high cut driver. I don't know.
Could you imagine, you make it on the green and you're like, well, that's a green in regulation,
I've only played one course that has a par 3 that far, or not really that far, but it is 250, and it was this course called Ansel Hoffman out in
Germany.
Sacramento.
Huh? Ansel Hoffman.
Yeah, no, it's out in Auburn, Sacramento area, or something like that. And they're number 9 before you make the turn to 10. It's a short par 3 going back there. I'm sorry, not a short. It's a very long par 3 going back to the clubhouse. But that hole is like 230. It's about 230 to the green. But the thing is, the wind's always into your face, so it literally plays
like a few times.
Yeah, it plays like 275. I've had to hit 3-wood a couple times there, and it just holds and just comes straight down.
Jeez, man. Dang. Let's see here. Let's see. 275. Okay, then I'm just stuck with the 600-yard par 5s, which is basically driver, teed up again, driver. No, but in all seriousness, they put me at 300. I probably could. No, I couldn't get there too. So I'd definitely be driver, 3-wood, and then probably 54, 58 degree to get myself into a scoring opportunity potentially. And then 17th hole, you got 394. What would you say you would hit your driver? Elevation's just normal, nothing crazy, but you got a warm temperature and no wind. Let's just say dead wind. What would your driver be?
I'm going to say probably perfect wind, perfect weather, hot, in a place like that with a linksy style course. I'm going to say probably 360, 370.
We're going to be short. Oh, yeah. Man.
I don't know if I should say I could probably get there because I've done it before, but I don't know.
But not consistently. You like there will be a chance, yes, right? But it obviously wouldn't be something you would rely on doing every single hole.
If I were to play conservatively, I would go 2-iron off the tee and just throw a good wedge up there and 2-putt and walk away with my par.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Then so let's see the final one, 18th hole, par 4, 463. I'd definitely go driver. Hopefully put me in about 150 to 160. I'm sorry, 160 to 170, which would probably be an 8 or a 9. And hopefully get myself in. And by looking at that score, I'd probably put myself at about a 2 under. But we still are going to, with everything that's been going on, all the weather been effing up and throwing us off. We have our own, at least me technically, Julio used to live out here. We got our own Utah, whatever they call the Tiger Woods course, out here, literally next door to me, the longest golf course in California, over 8,000 yards. It's actually about 9 yards longer than this one. The downside is it's not elevated, it's flat. But we have over a 700-yard par 5. We don't have a 300-yard par 3, which sucks, but, it is what it is. But it is Bryson DeChambeau's home course. And, I mean, like we've talked about in our previous podcasts, they definitely missed an opportunity to call – they called the farthest back their tips, to get all this. They call them the way back tees. They could have easily just called them the Bryson DeChambeau tees, and people would have flocked that golf course like crazy just to see what they shot. Julio and I one day are going to do a way back tees scramble to see what we're able to shoot. At least I know that's what I want to do. I want to do a scramble because I know if I do it by myself and I first Julio by himself, it's not going to be pretty. One's going to be having an okay time. The other one's going to want to leave it after the 9th hole. So I think it could be fun to see how low we go and also kind of compare how we could potentially do at the Tiger Woods course, since there's probably no chance in heck anytime soon we'd be able to play it. But it's getting built right now, right? So it's not something that's ready to go. It's something that they just bought the land and they're just starting it out, right?
Hang on, let me confirm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like that's what's going on.
Okay.
But in other news, we got the waste management, the big fraternity party of a tournament this weekend.
The frat golf tournament of like the PGA Tour. Like if they're a frat bro, this is the tournament that you want to go to for sure.
Who do you have favorite? Who do you have favored to win?
So
your top three. Who would be your top three?
Top three. I think Jon Rahm has a great shot, and not
That
just
was
because
my
he's
number
been, not just I don't have a rankings, but like out of like three people that I think, because he played at Arizona State, he played in Arizona, the state itself, and so he's obviously going to have that hometown kind of feel, even though he's from Spain. He went to college there and everything like that, so he's going to have all those frat bros just pumping him up. It sucks that Brooks Koepka isn't in the PGA Tour, because I know he always did really well in this tournament. But obviously he's not a pick. But I would probably go, I don't know. I mean, I love Max Homa. I'm definitely going to pull for him regardless. And I don't know. I got a feeling that like Rory McIlroy is going to like have a good outing. It was unfortunate that Homa and McIlroy both weren't at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. So obviously, I mean, I think we talked about this in our previous pods again. What was it? The purses. I know this was like one of the bigger purses out there.
Yeah, this one's up to $20 million now.
$20 million. So I mean, like, they're going to be gunning for that. And I think so. For me, it would be probably Rory, Homa, and Rahm. What about you?
So my top three, I have Rahm at 1. I think Colin Morikawa will come out for number 2.
Really? Okay.
And then my last one was going to be I'm just going to stick with it. My last one was going to be JT.
Okay.
Justin
Timberlake. I did not expect you to pull that out of your hat, but no, just kidding.
Yeah. That was those are my choices. I really wanted to kind of either go with like Max, because Max has been playing great golf, and then same with Rory. I feel like Rory has been playing some good golf too. But I feel like those are the guys that are going to kind of come out and do it. Colin, I don't know. I know Colin's kind of been trying to fix some stuff. Obviously, the guy just got married, so he's going through like his marriage changes in his career. But those are my guys. I think this will be a very fun tournament. And bro, I don't know if you saw some of the amateur today.
I was going to list those names. Yeah. They had a solid amateur.
They had a very solid list. I saw Macklemore and Schoolboy Q were out there too.
No, they weren't.
Yeah. But
they let him out. They let him out there.
Yeah, the setup on the 16th hole looked incredible. They have the whole thing now, like huge old thing. Although even in the back, they're gonna have the CBS announcers and the Golf Channel in the back, like announcing shots live.
Dude, so no one's safe when Schoolboy Q steps up to the tee box, man. You gotta be. I'd be so scared if I was like on the side of him.
A-Rod almost made a hole in one.
No way.
Yeah.
They had okay, so sorry, keep going. I'm gonna look at the lineup of the Pro-Am, because there was a decent amount of I think like Justin or Michael Phelps was there. Okay, Michael Phelps, Adam Thielen,
JJ Watt was out there.
JJ Watt, U.S. Women's National Team legend Carly Lloyd, country music. Oh, come on, dude. She's a stud. Country music star Chris Lane. That's who I would say who. NFL veteran and Arizona native quarterback who I didn't know he was from Arizona, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Who?
Ryan Fitzpatrick, the beard. Come on, you know who Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I know who he is. I'm just kidding.
Okay. Kill me here. Country music star Jason Aldean, Larry Fitzgerald, who was at the Pro-Am as well. Jerome Bettis. Who else we got here? Right. That would be a fun swing to watch. Emmett Smith.
Interested to see how his rotation is. I feel like he'd have like a Charles Barkley flexibility.
Yeah, I agree. Emmett Smith and Albert Pujols rounds out. Which,
there you go.
That would be an interesting swing as well because he's a hefty dude. He's a big dude.
Nah, I feel like Pujols has a beautiful golf swing. Beautiful golf swing.
That would be amazing to see. But let's pivot really quickly. Did you see the trailer for Full Swing golf documentary on Netflix?
Dude, it looks exciting. I saw.
How amazing does that look?
I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see that.
Dude,
like,
it looks freaking dope, man.
Yeah, I mean, to kind of get. I mean, I haven't seen anything like this since Callaway released a series of like Road to the Corn Ferry or something like that. Road to the Corn Ferry, or Road to like the PGA Tour, and like they literally followed around some of their new college team members and how, you know, the struggles that they went through of trying to get onto the PGA Tour, and of course they're on the Corn Ferry. So it was like these guys literally like would bunk up in one room at one time. They would all, you know, one person would say, "Hey, it's your turn to buy a room." Like everybody throws in, but they get a room of like 4 or 5 dudes all staying, sleeping on the floor, doing their thing. They get over there. They're like, "I don't go buy coffee. I don't get anything because everything's complimentary at the course."
Yep.
But there was a part where they showed, I think it was like JT like threw a club in the locker room or something like that, or threw a rag or something. And it was almost like the same thing as like what these Corn Ferry guys did, where one of them, he missed a putt to like win the tournament from like 5 feet, just spit out. And he gets back to his room and he gets back to the bus, and the dude is just like punching the back of the seat. He like throws some stuff, and I was like, I can feel that, dude. Like when you're playing for that kind of money, as well as also an opportunity to make more money.
Yep,
it's a hell of a skins game.
Oh my gosh! Like, have you ever seen what was it? The Formula One Drive to Survive on Netflix. So that's definitely what it reminded me of, and I feel like that's kind of what they're trying to go for as well. Because you know, it's I would assume it's like not rated, you know, because they're cussing. They're allowing the players to be themselves and not just what the PGA Tour wants people to see, where you're not picking up the hot mics, you know, and things like that. And I mean, that's what ultimately people want to see. They want to see that they're human. They're not just robots that just play golf and are quiet and go like this for a good putt and tip their cap, and that's it.
I just hope that they actually don't cut anything, and like they actually allow them to say what they are. Because I know like players like JT, the dude bites his tongue so much ever since the whole thing that happened with like
Polo. Oh my gosh, yeah,
dude, I mean, the PGA is just, they're so sensitive, and I mean,
well, no, it wasn't even really the PGA. I think it was CNN that called him out on that. Like that was, and then
everybody heard it. That was the thing, is like everybody heard it because he had his AirPod in, and they were just doing a match, and like he missed the putt, and he just said, you know, he said the word, and
right.
Yeah, everybody took sensitivity to it. Is like he wasn't directing anybody. Like, it's not even that big of a deal. Calm down. Like you're telling me you don't get road rage, and you just drop it too, or like you look
and
at
you don't say things that you regret to say.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
we're all human. Like, come on.
And I mean, full disclosure, that word was like the most commonly used word for boys from like 10 years old to like high school up until like 2010. Like that's like what everybody.
The definition of gay is literally happy.
Right.
Like,
I mean,
come on.
it's just, in my opinion, in just society in general, there's too much fake outrage out there that is like, of course there's legit outrage. There are people who are outraged for legit reasons, and it actually does affect them. And I totally understand that. But all the fake outrage is outdoing the real outrage, and that's ruining it. And people that are fake outrage are only doing it to get clout, to get popular, to get all that stuff, and it's so annoying. Today.
Yep,
so dumb because
everything is about clout now. I mean, literally everything is. You know, like I we could talk about that offline. I feel like that's something you don't really want to do. Right. No, I agree. Everyone is clout chasing, and that's just what it is. And you know, it just kind of sucks because it takes the purity. It takes the purity of just being one authentic, but 2, it's like, it's, again, we all do it. It's not like we're all imperfect people, and we all say certain things, but I mean, it's not, as long as you're not directing it towards anybody. Like, I don't understand what I don't understand what the deal is. But I mean, I get it. But yes, going back to it, I'm very excited for Full Swing.
I can't wait.
Now I actually have something that my wife has to sit down with me and watch, compared to watching Love Is Blind or.
Oh my gosh! Don't get me started on Love It. I've watched like 3 of those, and I'm like, okay.
Every single season, and I'm sad to admit, but I have gotten pretty invested into some of them. But we watched The Circle.
It's funny to watch their downfall. It's funny to watch the downfall of them. Like, you can just see it from like a mile away. Like, okay, like. Especially with, if we're just gonna go full being a husband, a dad, sitting with your wife just to make them happy. And my wife loved Love Is Blind, and I remember we would watch that, and it would just be like, okay, like these people are connecting, cool. Like, it's a cool concept to go
on. Before you go further, was she super hooked on like season 1, or did she get into it later?
Whichever one was on Netflix first. If it was season 1, then yeah. So
I'll admit, my wife and I, we both got hooked season 1 because it felt very real, like it felt authentic, and
right.
It seemed like, holy shit, like these people are really falling in love. And till this day, with all the other seasons, that season 1 group that got married and is dating, everyone who got married is still married, compared to like the last 2 seasons.
And now it just seems fake. It just seems like they're doing it. Now they're like, oh, this is something that I can do to make money and get my clout and all that stuff. But like, it's funny when you see these people, and it's what I've noticed on 90 Day Fiance as well. If you've ever watched that,
that's another big one too.
Like,
we watch that shit all the time.
You notice the people who have the most issues get the most airtime, and the people who are successful and have better relationships don't get any. And I want to watch those people that have successful. I don't care about that stuff. But anyway, so Love Is Blind. My favorite thing to watch is when somebody has they're picking between 2 people. Like, oh, I feel so connected with this person, but I'm so connected with that person. And then they make their pick, and then they see the other person, like when they all meet each other. And
talking about Bartiz, dude?
I don't know who I am specifically, but just I love it when they have like 2 people and like they pick one, and then they see the other one, and they're like, oh man, they're so, like, you can tell that their eyes are just slumped. Like, oh my gosh, I made a mistake. They're so much more better looking than the other person I'm with. Like,
you're talking about Bartiz.
Or there was another one where I remember seeing one guy literally propose to a girl, and she said no, and then he went to his second choice, and she asked him, like, am I your first choice? And he's like, no, this girl, like, I just proposed, and she said no, and she's like,
no, that was season 3 too.
Well, okay, I don't know what seasons they are, but I'm just telling you, like,
dude, that was the black dude.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. He ends up marrying like the girl that looks like a dude or whatever. She's like this tall.
Is that Tommy Fleetwood?
Yeah, exactly. That's Tommy Fleetwood. But no. I mean, this podcast has taken a turn. I mean, obviously, I think our wives would love to hear us talking about Love Is Blind and our thoughts. But yes.
What are your thoughts on The Bachelor, Julio? Who are you thinking about for The Bachelorette right now? Yeah, sorry.
That's one that we haven't watched. I mean, we watch Love Is Blind, 90 Day Fiance, 1,000 Pound Sisters.
1,000 Pound Sisters.
We watch after the 90 days, and then we watch The Circle, and then we try to get in, or we watch The Ultimatum. We watch
Seen that.
What's the selling show? The
selling show.
The real estate show in LA.
No,
the one in LA.
Something a
Selling
Hollywood
Sunset. Selling Sunset.
Selling Sunset. Okay.
Selling Sunset. We watched that, and then we got into like Too Hot to Handle or something like that briefly, and then I mean, dude, I'm all caught up on all those shows, and so I know.
Oh man,
that's the one thing, is like I have to show some entertainment or some enthusiasm about it, because if I don't, then my wife will be there and be like, "What would you rather go do? Go play video games?" And if I say yeah, then she's like, "That's all you care about. That's all you care about."
my thing is with my wife sometimes is, do you want the truth or do you want me to tell you what you want to hear?
Yeah.
You know, it's not like, and I was just, what was I watching today? I was watching Last Man Standing. If you ever watched that show with Tim Allen, great show. Well, at least I love the show. And he was like, his wife was snoring, and you know, the two guys that his best friends were talking like, hey, you can't tell her, just lie to her. You know, you can't just tell her that she snores. And I'm like, dude, in my relationship, like, I'll be straight up with her, and she respects that more than me just lying. Like, obviously, I'm not gonna like. If there is like a difficult conversation to have, I'm gonna be as nice about it as possible. I'm not just gonna be blunt and just like take it as it is, you know. But like if like I told my wife sometimes like, hey, you were snoring a little bit last night. She's like, oh really? I'm like, yeah, it wasn't bad, but like when you did, I nudged you, you know, and you stopped. And she's like, same thing for me, like, hey, you snore a little bit. You need to start working out again. Crap. Okay, yeah, I got to. My bad. Yeah, I haven't really snored in my life, so it's definitely because I'm starting to get a little bigger than I have been. But the whole thing was just like, don't lie, like, or lie to them. You don't want to tell them the truth. It's going to be even worse. And I don't know why I got off to that, but yeah, that's where I am right now. I'm losing it, man. I'm losing it.
Yeah. No, I mean, we're the same. We've got a pretty transparent, you know, household. Sometimes I'll tell Eastus, like, I'll make jokes and be like, yeah, last night you passed gas and it would sound like, hoofwah. like just messing with him. She'd be like, don't say that. She's like, I don't do that. I heard it.
Well, that's the thing.
Like,
I mean,
she's like, well, you should hear what yours sounds like when you eat McDonald's before you go to bed or something. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of the risk you take when you eat that shit.
I know, right? You got to pick your poison there, but man, okay. So we have derailing a bit. So we will end this podcast for the time being. Again, you know, really looking forward to that Netflix. It looks freaking amazing. We'll have another thing to talk about probably on a weekly basis, just about going over those episodes, which I think will be awesome. Because I'm not sure how it goes. We could we might just do like a weekly. We might do not a weekly if you can binge it or not.
We can plan it, but you know, one more thing to add is, hey, congratulations, LeBron James, on passing Kareem.
Never thought that number was going to be broken, dude. When I saw that, like
40 years,
like 20 years ago, when I was like 12 years old or 10 years old, you could, as kids, especially baseball players, you're all about stats, right? That's all you look at. Like 700, never going to be broken. All these things. That number was so far away from any other thing, and I think like it was insane how I was like, yeah, unless there's someone like a LeBron that's consistently playing that high level for over 20 years, like there's no chance. And one thing that I did see, someone tweeted that I'm bringing up the tweet right now. That's why I'm on my phone. That really made a lot of sense for us. Kind of like, oh wow, like that was kind of crazy. Someone was talking about LeBron James, how he's still shooting 30. He's averaging 30 the last 2 years. You know, the last couple people who broke 30,000 points, like Dirk Nowitzki, he was on his trail and averaging like 8 points a game. You know, Kobe Bryant was like, they said like 32% of himself, averaging like 14 points a game. You know, you had Michael Jordan, who at 42, I think he was still averaging somewhere in like the 30s, or sorry, in the 20s, but still nothing like LeBron, where he's, again, back-to-back years of 30. But damn, I'm not finding the tweet, which is kind of annoying. I must have liked it. Let me see. Did I like it? Did I like it? 1 day ago? No, I didn't. Darn. But hat off to him, because not only is it to show how good of a player he is, it's the longevity, his health, is the way he takes care of his body is insane. How many millions of dollars he's invested just to take care of his body and recovery, and just how he's changed his game. I feel like overall he is the best basketball player ever, where he could have held his own versus Kareem. He could have held his own versus Kobe. He could have held his own versus MJ. He could have held his own versus any size of the opponent, because he's 6'9". He can shoot the three. He can dunk. He can dribble. He can literally do it all. But that's another time. Like no matter who you argue with, you're never going to know. It's to everyone's opinion, right?
That's a good point. I mean, Stephen A brought it up this morning. You know, when they asked him, hey, you know, LeBron passed Kareem, does he now fall in, in your opinion, as the greatest basketball player of all time? And he said, I hate this question because my opinion will never change. Michael Jordan is by far the best player of all time, even though he was in a completely different era. And he says a much tougher era than this era. He goes, the man is undefeated in the playoffs. He's been with one team. Like, he brought up all these stats that, like, quite honestly, it really hits the nail. Really hits the nail right, right, or it really hits it right on the nail. But I just recently heard this other one, and I can't play it right now because it's just going to interrupt the whole thing. But somebody broke down the numbers as far as like the amount of points that Michael was thrown out when he
like play baseball and stuff like that, or
when he was playing, right? And they said when he left, right, he was gone for about 5 years, or give or take, right, or 2 years.
So how many points would he have had if he would average that?
Dude, if he kept on the same pace before he left, or before his dad died and everything happened, like he would have. They said with how fast he was going, he would have had like 45,000 points.
No way.
45,000. Like, the guy literally broke it down like a statistical analysis of everything. 45,000.
I mean, there's a decent amount of people that you could talk to about that, like Ted Williams. When he was in the service for World War II, he lost like some of his clutch, like prime years to the war.
Yep.
Like, there are some people that unfortunately aren't able, like, we're not able to see what they were really capable of because of something that was out of their control. But yeah, sorry, keep going.
No, I was just going to say, I 110% agree. I mean, it's just hard, and I also think that Shaq says it best too, right? Which is like, it's hard to say who is the all-time best, because when you think about the different types of eras, like, there's different players for different eras. Like, Magic has, before Magic and Larry Bird have it before Michael Jordan kind of came into the league, because their careers were starting to kind of fall. And Michael came in as the king. Like, that's just what it was. But I think the biggest thing around LeBron James is he came in at 18 years old, right?
Michael Jordan, I think, was what, 21, 22?
Yeah, 21. So it was like, there's a lot more, but also there's a lot more hype. I think LeBron James is probably the most hype player. He was like the Bryce Harper of basketball. And yeah, the man has had an incredible career. But at the same time, I'm going to quote Dave Portnoy today, like, the dude is a selfish player, and that's what he's turned into. Everyone has kind of seen it. He's really trying to just chase the GOAT. The fact that, like, they took 10 minutes out of the third quarter to celebrate him passing it is absolutely ridiculous. And then the man sits for the entire fourth quarter.
I mean, I get that. I think the
sitting, they still lost.
The sitting in the fourth quarter, yeah, I definitely agree with that. But I mean, like, dude, this record hasn't been broken in 40 years. What did they do when Barry Bonds when Barry Bonds broke the record for home runs? What did they do? Did they stop the game?
No, they just said, "Hey, congratulations."
Oh, shut up! Oh, stop! Shut up!
They threw a dart of steroids into his arm and said, "Hit another one."
Come on! I mean, like, the fact that he didn't play the fourth quarter, yeah, that's ridiculous. But yeah, let the man enjoy. I mean, like, in my opinion, LeBron James, from what we've seen in the public eye, I don't know so much about his personal life. Obviously, he's the most under the microscope, so we know a lot, but you don't really know everything. I mean, like, he married his high school sweetheart. Imagine how difficult that would have been for somebody of his stature, with his hype, with everybody coming at him from all different angles, staying married, hopefully, you never know what was going on really inside, but, having 3 healthy kids, living up to that hype, and making billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Still rocking a freaking flip phone from day one. He's one of those guys that he doesn't live as luxury as he really could.
He drives the Kia, dude.
Exactly. He doesn't live as luxurious as he could, but, like, he is humble-ish. not humble 100%, but I mean, he's given so much back to the community. He's created schools for kids to get scholarships for. He's done all this for the public. Like, he seriously is like the perfect role model that you would want for a kid to look up to a professional athlete, you know, compared to what's that quarterback from the 90s, went to Washington State, and then he went to the Chargers and just sucked, and then he ended up being went to jail for 7 years. Ryan Leaf. Remember Ryan Leaf? Just partied. He was just a party animal. He had the hype and everything. As soon as he got drafted, he got a signing bonus, went right to Vegas with his boys. Like, he was there just to have fun. But like, he's like the one guy, like
he was like the boss.
Yep. The boss.
Yeah.
But yeah. Hats off to LeBron. That would be insane. It does suck. I hate the what ifs because we'll never know. You know, the only person.
That's what keeps it relevant, man.
That's what keeps sports podcasts to keep podcasting.
Yeah. I mean, it's just what it is. But still, I'm not taking any credit away from the guy. Obviously, every single point was earned. You know, It's just like, it's just unfortunate that like you do it that way. You know, you still freaking lose the game. You sit the entire fourth quarter. And at this point, I know, like, I get it too. The Lakers are out of playoffs. There's really no reason, you know?
Show sucks.
Yeah. I mean, the Clippers are actually kind of better than them this year, or a little bit more exciting to watch, I guess. But, yeah. But other than that, guys, thank you again for tuning in. Have yourselves a great night. We're going to be pumping out a little bit more content, and we have some new things coming. So tune in.
Be on the lookout.
Get ready for it. There's going to be
TikTok.
some fun. Yes, there's going to be some big fun things coming around. You know, we get it. We got to do a little bit more. So we appreciate those that are with us, that follow us, you know, that believe in what we're doing. Again, this is just fun. We love just talking about it. John's a good friend of mine. I'm a good friend of John. We've been friends for years. This is just us, you know, escaping our daily realities to talk about the things we love. So,
amen, brother. Amen.
Yeah. On that, have yourselves a great night and enjoy the rest of the week and stay dry.
Yes, sir.